I've been running Google Ads for 10 years and I've done 1,000 audits personally within that time frame, from small mom and pop shops spending just a few $100s per month to billion-dollar corporations spending millions and millions of dollars per year. I have noticed there are 10 key things that the Google advertisers who absolutely dominate their industry all have in common. And in this video, I'm gonna go one by one through each of those 10 key things that you need then to implement in order for you to dominate your market. Let's dive in. All right, number one, great offer. Has nothing to do with actual tactics of a Google Ads account. It's your actual offer that is the most important piece. If you have a shit offer, you will have shit performance. It's as simple as that. Those that dominate their markets usually have a great offer. Now, that means if you're e-commerce and you're a reseller of a product, your pricing is competitive with the competitive pricing of those reselling products as well, of the same products. Now, if you manufacture and sell your own product, then you got to make sure, is this product actually good and is it competitive? I can't tell you how many times we have audits that come through. We review and I'm like, you're like 20% more expensive than your competition and you sell literally the same thing. So how would you ever win the conversion? They're just going to go to the competitor who has better pricing. There's nothing unique about you or additional value that you provide that they would spend 20% more on. So you must look at your offer. If you're in lead generation and you have no offer, then you should create an offer. It can't be as simple as like, hey, we've been in business since 1975. You should come hire us. It means nothing to most consumers today. They want value. They want the features and benefits that you're going to provide. And that has to come down to you actually crafting an offer that makes sense to your audience and is going to grab them by the throat and get them to buy from you. So offer is number one. Those that are dominating their markets all have great offers. Okay, number two, high converting websites or landing pages. Just like number one, I talk about if you have a shit offer, you're gonna have shit performance. If you have a shit website or a shit landing page, you're going to have shit performance. It's that simple. So you must have a high converting website or landing page. There's a lot that goes into that. We have this entire audit sheet that we go through with our clients for both e-commerce and lead gen. This is something that I am not going to give out free because we built this for our own processes here at Grow My Ads. However, there's some key elements to high converting landing pages. And in fact, we also have an entire YouTube video on landing pages specific mainly to local service-based businesses. That will be in the description below. Make sure to go check that out after you complete this video. But key elements to a high converting page, they're going to be, make sure it's a standalone page if you're doing lead generation. Make sure if phone calls are important to you, which in many businesses there are, make sure you have a prominent phone number on the page, usually on the header, real big in the top right corner. You're going to want compelling headlines with unique selling propositions that you have. You're going to have subheaders with key benefits there, clear, prominent call to actions, whether that's a product page if you're e-commerce or it's a landing page for form fills for lead generation. You must have that clear, prominent call to action to get them to make that next step. You need to offer something valuable in exchange, right, for their contact information if you're on the lead generation side. And on e-commerce side, you got to get them to actually add that to cart. Well, there's going to be some friction there, right? If they don't know you, don't trust you. So then you have to bake in testimonials with photos or videos if possible, visual elements, before, after images, if there's a before and after to your product or service. Pictures, high quality pictures of your product. I can't tell you how many e-commerce companies I've talked to and I'm like, guys, your product pictures are horrendous. It looks like it was done on a Motorola Razr phone from early 2000s. So make sure you don't have this pixelated, crappy picture. Have high quality pictures. Stand out from the competition. If your picture is what the manufacturer sent to you, if you're e-commerce and you look at all your competition, you guys all are using the same images. How do you stand apart from that? You go and have a photographer make better images of those products. So having all of that with trust indicators, awards, ratings, again, baking in customer testimonials and all of that will help, absolutely will help convert higher. So it doesn't matter if the traffic's good that's coming to you. If you do not have a high converting website or a landing page, you're going to not win the sale. They're going to go to the competition that makes it very easy for them to buy, or they trust it due to the fact that they baked in some of these key elements. So there's a lot to landing pages. Just know, and this could be an entire course in itself, but just know you must be looking at your website, you must be looking at your landing pages, and they must be optimized to convert. Number 3 is going to relate to just point number 2, but that's having an optimized funnel, okay? So if you're e-commerce, you get them to your optimized product page, they actually add the product to the cart. Now that checkout process should be frictionless, okay? If you're lead generation and you got them to your high converting landing page based off of what we just talked about in the last point, the sale actually happens on the back end, right? On the actual follow-up. And so having that funnel, that great funnel that backs up everything that you do. There are many accounts that I've optimized where they're blaming, or not optimized, but audited, and they're blaming like the agency, or they're blaming whoever's like running the account. Hey, the account's not good and we're just not selling these leads. I look at the account setup, I'm like, actually, whoever's managing this is doing an incredible job, right? So let's talk about what are you guys doing on the back end. Guess what? Leads are sitting for days before they're being contacted. You will lose.
Oh, what a loser.
You're going to lose the sale. If you're not contacting someone who just raised their hand and said, hey, talk to me, I'm interested in your service, and you're not doing that right away while they're hot, you will lose. So having an optimized funnel, an optimized follow-up system on the back end, if you're lead generation, or an optimized checkout process on the front end, if you're e-commerce, you must have that, and that in order to actually continue to convert at a high rate. So this really bakes into point number 2, which is optimized websites and optimized landing pages. But just because you got them to an optimized page, you still have work to do. And those that are absolutely dominating it are killing it in this area. For lead generation specifically, this is huge. The guys who just print money from leads being generated, it's because they have a sales team that are absolute sharks when these leads come in. They're contacting them right away and they're getting them on a phone conversation. If you let leads sit, you will lose money guaranteed. So you can do everything on the front end great, but if you're not doing the stuff on the back end that helps actually convert this into dollars, right, and actual sales, then Google Ads will become very hard for you. All right, I'm giving you 4 and 5 all in one here. So 4, having a defined, clear, realistic goal. So first, you must have a goal, right? How are you gonna optimize your Google Ads campaigns if you don't have a goal? You're optimizing to a goal, right? That's how you steer the ship. You have to have an end destination you're trying to get to. If you don't have a goal, well, good luck, right? And so there's many companies I talk to, I'm like, what's your goal? Like, we just want more sales. That's not gonna cut it.
You can do better than that.
We need to look at the numbers and we have to set a clear, realistic goal. Then I talk to other companies. They come at me like, we want a $20 CPA. I'm like, okay, well, let's look at, your CPCs in your industry. Oh, CPCs are $20. How are you going to get a $20 CPC, or sorry, a $20 CPA if CPCs cost you $20 on average, right? We're gonna have a 100% conversion rate.
Not gonna happen. No, not gonna happen.
So you must do research in the beginning and look, is my goal even realistic? You can set some random goal, and this is what I think a lot of companies do. They just pick a number out of thin air, and fine. Is that realistic? Now do the data, or look through the data, do the research. I have a full video on how to do keyword research. It goes into looking at CPC data. This is where you're actually gonna determine, can I operate within my industry at the goals that I need? Your goals are going to change and evolve over time, but you cannot set yourself up for failure by not A, setting a goal, and B, setting an unrealistic goal. So you have to have a clear, defined, realistic goal. Now, this is going into point or key number 5, having a realistic budget as well. So that same research that you're doing to see what your CPCs are, to make sure you're actually able to mathematically hit goals that make sense and are realistic, you also have to have enough budget to operate to ever even make that happen. So I'm speaking to you, lawyers. If you're in an industry that's very expensive, lawyers, and you come at it with like $1,000, you just come up with this number like, hey, let's just throw $1,000 at Google Ads to see what happens. Just give me that $1,000 because you're not going to get anything from it, right? So you're just going to give that to Google and get nothing from it. You have to look at the data. If you see any of my other trainings, you'll hear me talk about you must get 10 clicks per day in order to just have enough data coming in, enough momentum and enough volume to ever really do anything with it, to be able to optimize, to be able to eventually get enough conversion volume, to be able to eventually tap into smart bidding and then off to the races, right? You have to have a realistic budget to get there, and you have to look at the data. What are CPCs going to cost me? How, and if I have to get 10 clicks minimum, just use that as a guideline. Do I have the budget in my industry based off my CPCs in order to even afford that? So do the research, have clear defined goals, right, that are realistic, and you must also have a realistic budget. 6, correct conversion tracking. I can't tell you how many audits we still do today, and we look at their conversion tracking. I honestly, it's like 80%, I feel like, that their tracking is incorrect. You must have correct conversion tracking. You can do everything we've already discussed in this video, and you can do it perfectly. But if your conversion tracking is not set up correctly, then you're going to be operating the account off of a completely broken foundation. And that is the key foundation to measuring everything correctly within your account to get good performance, right? So if you're e-commerce, you must have correct e-commerce conversion data coming in from those purchases that are being made. You should also have enhanced conversion set up, right? That is a setting that Google has allowed that gives you a little more attribution back. Now, this is a full topic in and itself, but comb through your conversion tracking. Is it set up correctly? If you aren't 100% confident in the data that you're starting to see through Google Ads, or if let's say you're a big spender and you're using like Wicked reports or some third-party attribution system, or maybe you're just using your back-end numbers and you're operating off of a MER, that's fine too. But you must have confidence. Your entire team, up to the CEO and CFO, they all must be confident in this data, right? The amount of companies I talk to that aren't confident in the data, I'm like, guys, then this isn't going to go anywhere. You have to have confidence in the data that you're seeing in your account. That starts with correct conversion tracking. When you have correct conversion tracking, things get easier because you actually are confident in what you're seeing in app and off app. So in app being Google Ads, off app being whether you're using like a Wicked reports, third-party attribution tool, or just a back-end, numbers sheet that you're operating off of with maybe like a MER. These are full topics on their own. I'm not going to go too deep in the rabbit holes on any of those, but make sure you have correct conversion tracking. Same with lead generation. Make sure you're getting form fills. Make sure you're also tracking the backend within your CRM system, not just generic form fills, but also what's happening on the back. Who are you actually getting to fill forms out? Are these the correct people? Are they qualified or not? I have an entire video, how to get high quality leads. I give you my entire sales process, my exact lead flow process from ads to back end on the CRM system. And then how we're actually translating that back to our ad platforms, Meta and Google, and how we're training the machine learning on high quality leads, not just leads. And that's how I continue to get high quality leads into the agency. So the full video on that I'll have in the description below, but having the correct conversion tracking piece set up will help with all of that. Okay, keys 7, 8, 9, and 10, I'm lumping into one. Why is that? Because this is now in the account optimizations. And that is going to be correct structure, correct account and campaign structure and ad groups. It's going to be high intent targeting. So that's going to be the keywords you're actually targeting. Are you actually targeting high intent keywords that are for those who are looking to purchase your product or service, and you're not bidding on a bunch of irrelevant top of the funnel stuff that will not convert at all, right? Do you have the proper bid strategy in place in order to actually hit your goal, right? And do you have strong ad copy? You'll notice ad copy is actually key point number 10. Why? You have to do all this other stuff in order for ad copy to even matter. A lot of people think ad copy is the holy grail. It's not. You have to have this entire foundation built in order for ad copy to even really do much for you. So that's why it's key 10. Now, keys 1 through 6 are the most important. You'll notice 7, 8, 9, and 10 are like tactical clicking button stuff in your account. Thankfully for you, I have videos on, so going to correct structure. I have videos on how to build out a Performance Max campaign. I have a full Performance Max course. I have videos on how to build search campaigns out the right way, shopping campaigns out the right way, display campaigns the right way, dynamic search ad campaigns the right way. All of those videos will be in the description below. So correct structure, we can get into the weeds on that. It's like a full course in itself. Lucky for you, I have all the supporting content built out for all of that. So if you were like, hey, I do need to make sure my structure is good, right? Cool, go check my video out on whatever campaign type you're looking at. I have a video on how to set those campaigns up the right way and what you should be looking for. Also on how to optimize all of it. Then with high intent targeting, that's just coming down to your keywords, right? The videos I just mentioned will discuss the high intent targeting piece, as well as the keyword research video that I mentioned earlier. That will be in the description below, so go check that out. Proper bidding, I have an entire masterclass on bidding. So what bid strategies you should be using and when should you be using different bid strategies. I have that video in the description below. And then strong ad copy, we've got several videos on ad copy, how to test ad copy, how to write compelling ad copy. All of that will be in the description below. But just remember, keys 1 through 6 are actually the most important. And that stuff is not really clicking buttons in your account stuff. That is more high level strategy. And that is where the companies that dominate their industries are actually way ahead of the competition that they have. It's because they're operating with great offers. They're operating with high converting websites and landing pages. They have this funnel for leads that are coming in. They've got, this well-optimized, oiled machine of converting those leads, right? And if you're e-commerce, they have this frictionless process of actually ordering from them, and their customer service is incredible, and all the other things that go along with that. They have defined realistic goals. They know their numbers. They went into Google Ads knowing what they could actually achieve or try to achieve, right? And then as they started achieving that, they've reset their goals over time for long-term goals that they're setting. And it's done in a realistic way because it's done by data that they've accumulated. So they've reviewed this data to help guide them for the future. And they have realistic budgets to help get them there. They've done the research. They know the math. They've set realistic budgets to this. They're not just pulling numbers out of thin air and just throwing it at Google Ads. That doesn't work. And with all of that, before they get into keys 7 through 10, they have correct conversion tracking. Their entire company, from the CEO to the CFO to the director of marketing or CMO, they believe the numbers that they're generating, whether it's in their Google Ads account or using a third-party attribution tool or just looking at their back-end numbers. They believe the data that they're operating their marketing channel through Google Ads off of, and they have correct conversion tracking set up. There you go. There are the 10 keys to dominating Google Ads in your industry and absolutely printing money. I hope you got great value from this video. I hope you make lots of money from the 10 keys that I just presented in this video. If you run Google Ads, you're a business owner, director of marketing, whatever it may be, and you want my team to actually review what you're doing and make sure it's correct, we offer free audits. That's if you qualify. So this isn't for everyone. There is a qualification process, but that will be done through our form fill, right? So if you run a Google Ads account and you want to get our expert team to review what you're doing and provide practical recommendations, there's going to be a link below that will send you to our form fill. You'll just give us some quick information in regards to who you are, what your company is, what you're spending on Google Ads, what industry you're in. You'll hop on a call with our team. We're going to do a quick discovery of what's going on, what your needs are, and then we'll provide a free audit, completely free, with practical advice on how to improve your account. So if you have an account that you're running and you want audited and you want it done for free, go click that link, go fill that form out, and we'd love to talk to you. If not, no worries. I'll see you on the next video.